Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. What happens when a young man adrift in late 80s Korea decides to rebel against everything family, education, society, and even love, using only sex, art, and anger as his tools? Today, we're exploring one of the most controversial novels in modern Korean literature, When Adam Opens His Eyes by Jang Jung-il. So, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Barry, and this is your irregular dive into Korean literature. So, today I'm introducing a powerful and provocative novel, When Adam Opens His Eyes by Jang Jung-il. Translated by Hwang A and Horace Jeffrey Hodges. The English translation was published as part of the Dalkey Archive Library of Korean Literature. And the Korean original was published back in 1990. The English translation was published in 2013. And as far as I know, this is Jang's only novel available in English translation. And it is a highly controversial coming of age story set in the late 80s in Korea. Jang is a controversial and infamous writer. He's even been jailed for his erotic and violent novels. He spent 6 months in jail for the novel Try Lying to Me. And his novels and plays have been so influential that they launched a literary trend called Jang Jung-il syndrome. And this was a literary wave of taboo busting, self-destructive anti-heroes, and nihilistic introspection. So, what is the basic premise and setup for this novel? Who is the young man at the heart of the story? So, the protagonist and narrator of the story is a 19-year-old high school graduate living outside of Seoul. At the beginning of the novel, we learn that he has failed the all-important university entrance exam. His overachieving older brother has just left to study for a postgraduate degree in America. His uncle is trying to pressure and manipulate him into working in a sort of a dead end job as a traveling salesman, kind of odd job man. His single mother enrolls him in a cram school to study for 1 year so that he can try and enter university the following year. And meanwhile, his girlfriend has been admitted to university and is also due to leave shortly. Our unnamed narrator is stuck. The novel follows him over the course of a year he's supposed to spend studying. Instead, he spirals into a journey of self destruction driven by a desperate search for identity and freedom. And this novel starts with a famous opening line. And that line is, I was 19 years old, and the things that I wanted most to have were a typewriter, prints of Munch's paintings, and a turntable for playing records. Over the course of the novel, he will acquire all three of these things. And it's the way that he acquires these things that was controversial. So he gets all of these things through sex with a variety of people. So these objects become talismans of his rebellion. But he does eventually acquire them. But like I said, it was his method of acquiring them that was what was shocking for readers at the time. So he trades sex for gifts, entering into increasingly transactional and exploitative relationships. This novel is graphically explicit, and some, I'm sure, would argue that it's pretty gratuitous, but the sex here is symbolic. It's really an expression of rage, alienation, and perhaps even the collapse of traditional morality. And this aspect of the novel was, of course, shocking at the time. It's very easy to see why. It's graphic and frank and seemingly just casually explicit. And this young man seems to represent a generation adrift and without meaningful goals or aspirations. And through these sexual encounters, we get a sense of his alienation from the world around him. And throughout the story, he rages against the hypocrisy and corruption of Korean society and culture, and against the world in general. And Chang's argument seems to be that corruption lurks just below the surface of society. There's really only a thin veneer of respectability, but when you scratch it, you reveal the lies and corruption everywhere. By writing about taboo subjects such as those in this novel, he's trying to rub the reader's nose in the truth of the world. So, what are some examples of the type of thing the narrator is raging against? So, honestly, there's just too many to choose from. At its core, when Adam opens his eyes, is about a young man confronting and rejecting a society he sees as irredeemably corrupt. He's furious at everything: the education system, his family's expectations, Korean society's obsession with appearances, even modern American pop culture, which he simultaneously worships and despises. So he idolizes the 60s and 70s American rock music. But in one section, there is a diatribe against the growing influence of computers on modern music. And there's this idea that some kind of authenticity has been lost. We've carelessly let computers have too much influence on music, art, and literature. And sometimes he sounds like a pretentious teenager, like I did when I was 18 or something. But other times, his insights are quite surprisingly prescient. So, especially considering the novel was written in the late 1980s, we're still having these debates about authenticity and so on, or the influence of technology on art, life, culture, have only intensified, right? There's a powerful line, a famous line in Rebel Without a Cause. So James Dean's character is asked, "What are you rebelling against?" And he answers, "What have you got?" And that's exactly the energy here. We find this kind of aimless anger and lashing out in this novel. So why does this book still matter today? So this novel feels, almost as relevant today as it did over 30 years ago. It explores themes that still resonate, especially in a world where so many young people feel trapped, angry, and disillusioned. Jang is really just looking at society, daring readers to look at the cracks beneath the surface. He strips away the mask of respectability and tries to show us what lies beneath: corruption, hypocrisy, and confusion. It's not a comfortable read, but it's not one you will forget quickly. Anyway, have you read When Adam Opens His Eyes, or any other books that tackle youth rebellion and social rot? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Is there a modern equivalent of this kind of angry young voice today? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe for more deep dives into Korean fiction, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new episode. And as always, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.